Light and dark of sexual alchemy and magic, the holy signs of a new eon. This is a wonderful post that somebody sent me on X. If you don't follow me on X, by the way, I post pretty much 10 times a day, and it was a platform that allowed me to get fairly well known. And I believe, hopefully, if they get rid of the adult material on X, it could be the best social media platform in the world. So I'm going to go through this all together with you. This is a very, very interesting post, and learn a little bit more myself, and you can be along for the ride. So sex power is God-like power. Tantra is the highest level of esoteric knowledge in yoga. Tantra is the secret teachings in Buddhism, but it can be found in Vedic Hinduism, Zen, Christianity, and more. And we have this interesting comparison between sex light magic and sex dark magic. I made a previous video on this notion of occultism and how it can be a dirty word, and typically when people hear the word of the occult, they talk about the sex dark magic. But in fact, occult just means secular knowledge, esoteric knowledge that not a lot of people are aware about. Equally, under the rubric of occult, we talk about right-hand path, so love, will with love, spirit, mind, and consciousness, above carnal and material desires, and heart-centered. And the antithesis of that is very selfish. Libido is center. Carnal and material desires rule over spirit, mind, and consciousness. This illustration here is tremendous. I really believe that this is the difference between conscious creators, individuals like or individuals who are propagating their content around God, spirit, universe, energy, whatever you want to call it. It's very selfless, and it speaks to a community as opposed to the individual. I often see this as selfish, dark magic, and selfless, light magic. And this is really, really critical because, you know, as much as there can be some utility in dark magic, such as, you know, Andrew Tate, material, carnal, over spirit, mind, and consciousness, it's limited. There's going to be a ceiling that you hit, and you may drive around in the Lambo, but and perceive yourself to everybody else to be so full, but inside your soul is empty and dark. So let's begin. And all credit to the creator here, the hidden Amuraka. The word Tantra literally means a technique or technology. This is an inner technology, a technology of the mind, the body, and the soul. The compulsive and cyclical nature of the body and mind render themselves a barrier for higher possibilities or the higher realms. Really, really interesting point that I have made is, and we'll use the illustrations here to denote this. You have the fire and you have the water path. Many individuals are stuck typically in one path, and this is that selfish, that dark magic, that occult level black magic kind of consciousness. It is carnal, it is lustful, it is self-serving and self-gratifying, and it puts a limitation on your spiritual development. It is one side of the yin-yang model, and it's very, very reductionist in this way. We have to move the sexual energy around the microcosmic orbit to fully complete this holistic use of, and full use, I would say, of sexual energy. So sexual energy is channeled in the microcosmic orbit, sometimes called the multi-orgasmic channel, which runs in a circle up the spine to the brain and down the front of the body to the perineum. So here you have the depiction on the right-hand side. Learning how to breathe in a circle refines your sexual energy and makes multi-orgasmic bliss a possibility within your body. And some very simple instructions here. Inhale up the spine, visualizing, well, not visualizing, but innervating the nerves around your spine, around the root plexus, around the gut plexus, the heart plexus, throat plexus, third eye plexus, and the crown plexus. Strengthen your pelvic floor muscles because there is a mechanism in your sacrum which pumps CSF around the spine. Be gentle, no need to force. Practice deep belly breathing. Have patience, practice, and enjoy the flow. I've mentioned numerous times that the key for transmutation lies in prana, in pranayama, in breath control. And moving your breath will make Shakti energy follow that circulation. It is, we'll offer it to a really, really strong start. This individual knows how to, he knows what he's talking about. And the benefits of SR, I won't go through all of these, but as a consequence of unifying sexual energy, clarity of mind, no mental clutter, better stamina and power in the gym, absence of depression or any neurosis, anxiety, I would add into that equation, stress, better short-term memory, grasp conversations better, sharp and clear-minded, hair growing thicker, being cool with awkward situations, presence, a deep presence of the moment, an appreciation and gratitude for that moment, being, we've said that, feeling alive and having a powerful spirit, healthier face and skin, appreciation for the admirations of woman's inner and outer beauty, less sleep, better dream recollection, urge to expand your mind, increase energies of testosterone, as we have talked about numerous times. So Tantra is the vehicle in which helps the practitioner to go beyond, so that compulsiveness of the body and mind do not keep us trapped in the limitations of the physical realm. Another name that has become interchangeable with Tantra in Western parlance is occultism and sexual magic. Sexual magic is more of a combination of Eastern Tantra and thalamic techniques, or Western occultism, introduced by Aleister Crowley. I know there are some negative connotations around this particular individual, but sex magic or Tantra is nothing new. In white Tantra, the seed is saved. In black Tantra, the seed is spilled. Grey Tantra is the grey area in between. So there are unique distinctions here that we can draw between the use of this particular energy as is prefaced in this particular thread. Another name that has become interchangeable with Tantra or in Western occultism is sexual magic. Sexual magic is more of a combination of Eastern Tantra and thalamic techniques. Western occultism, nothing new. I think he repeated that twice, or I've repeated myself, pardon me. Remember, sex is the principal force of all mechanicalness. All sleep, all hypnosis depends on it. It is imperative to view sex as an act of sacred, energetic exchange. It is clear the power of sexuality is twofold. It is the chief form of slavery or liberation. I love this illustration here. So hell denoting this, black Tantra, the spilling of the seed, and heaven bringing the seed back up the spine. It's really interesting, the imagery that goes on when you look at your spine has become analogous to, I was just about to say here, I didn't see here, but the tree of life, the forbidden fruit, hell being the bottom, being the roots, and heaven being the throne. So you have the throne room here. You have earth or Midgard. So there's also, it's interesting the continuity of these kinds of concepts around different cultures and different religions and different ideologies. I believe there is a snake equally in Midgard called, is it the world serpent? I don't believe it's the world serpent, but the imagery, the connotations of the snake being analogous to sexual energy and kundalini being at the bottom of your spine, and we need to charm the snake to rise up the spine towards heaven where sits the seat of your soul, intracranial pressure, the pituitary and the pineal gland, and the CSF, where the CSF kind of sits in your brain. This is where they say consciousness exists, and moving that cerebral spinal fluid that is full with all those proteins and ions and salts can give rise to different and elevated states of universal consciousness. And you can see why the benefits are synonymous to this kind of idea. Slavery by way of adult material, masturbation, etc. Black magicians are properly labeled as black tantrists. Liberation is found through the act and transmutation of the sexual alchemy. Sex must be viewed as a holy sacrament. The power of sex should not enslave you, but empower you. Doan Fortune explains, the soul is sex, but sex is not the soul. Sex is of the body. Thus, alchemy is the holy science and the coming of Eon. Sexual alchemy is known as the Mathuna to the Hindus. The Sanskrit Mathuna is referred to the sacrament or sexual union between husband and wife. In Vedic astrology, Gemini is depicted as a man and a woman in a sexual embrace known as Mithuna. When a man and woman, both devoted yogis and fully prepared to enter into the great work, they are taken by a guru and fully instructed about the Mithuna, or act of sacred sex. On the flip side, the dark occult, there is a belief that if you could sodomize God, if you can have God's power, it was believed this is how Greeks became gods. Sounds crazy. Ritual abuse and sodomy is a form of mind control or brainwashing used in the MK Ultra programming. The act ritualistically bonds the programmer or handler to the victim, especially if it is a child. Trauma bonds, splitting the child's mind through pain and trauma. Sodomy is seen as a backdoor to the tree of life. It is believed that if you sodomized the deity known as Jehovah, you'd get his power. It's that simple, and this elementary principle that has been followed for millennia by Greeks, Romans, Mossad, British intelligence, DARPA, Crowley, and many left-handed path initiates. Why? Sex is the most fundamental force in nature. The experience of orgasm is the critical moment in human consciousness and the key to magical power. The moment when new life is infused from the spiritual into the material, it is the crucial moment when the soul is completely opened. So there is this idea of mental intercourse that we are playing with here. You can reproduce on the physical level through, I suppose, I didn't want to call it black tantra or grey tantra. I believe the intentional use of this force to create new life can be seen in a very holy and spiritual way, but more often than not, that is not the utility of this particular energy. It's for black tantra purposes. It's for self-gratification, and in the more sinister and malicious circles, as a means to sodomize and accrue power through taking loose energy from children, from pure beings. As such, the experience of the climax has the potential to lead the soul either upwards or downwards, to higher states of spiritual transcendence, or to lower states of corruption. Consequently, through these sexual rituals, the individual can manifest their will in a multitude of magical acts. This is often inverted against the unsuspecting victim. In the dark occult, the penetration occurs at an upward angle, where the wand strikes the vagus nerve in the base of the spine, causing a white light, a temporary neurological paralysis, and a shift in consciousness. This is called the key of David. Now, the victim is in a state where he is susceptible to be programmed by his handler or initiates. It is important to understand the chakras, the energy wheels, which are a physical manifestation of the endocrine glands. The chakras are an ancient depositories of all divine energy given to humanity at the beginning of time. The root chakra function is to respond to any issues concerning survival. In Sanskrit, the Muladhara means root and support. In males, the Muladhara is located, I don't say the anus, I say the perineum, or the pelvic floor. To go even further, the first chakra is situated in many males between the anus and the genitals at the perineum, and the female at the cervix, where the vagina and the uterus joins. Muladhara is the lowest chakra in humans, but the highest in animals. The act of sodomy is performed to open the victim's third eye, which is supposed to enhance psychic capabilities. Survivors have reported that during this vile act, a demonic system called Legion is installed. This systematically done to have complete control over the child. This leads us to the Jesuit maxim, which states, "Give me the child for the first 7 years and I'll give you the man." The first 7 years are crucial in a child's life. These primitive years shape the whole child's future. The Jesuits understand this and exploited it. The Jesuits understand this, exploiting it for the mind control programming or monarch programming, controlling the child's whole belief system. Just like the Jewish golem, the younger child for the fresher clay, the easier it is to program and control it. Scary indeed. In our current paradigm, people have become great slaves to their desires. Their minds are conditioned for instant gratification and quick dopamine hits. People have become programmed to have no control or mastery over the sex force, never learning the art of transmutation. The mainstream world controls you by controlling your sense. Junk food, porn, television, shopping, materialism. When you learn to feed the soul instead of the senses, you are ready to maintain the mastery of the self. Sexual energy is the finest energy of the infinite cosmos. Sexual energy can convert us into angels or demons. Sex should be viewed as a holy sacrament, a sacrament of will, but not of desire. This is the holy science. And a little plug to this creator's book here. Very, very fascinating. I'm very compelled to invest. I imagine that he got a lot of his knowledge from Samuel A. Waugh, I believe. And he wrote the book, The Sacred Matrimony, which denotes a lot of this. I highly recommend that text, and I can do some more readings from that if you are interested. But scary stuff, powerful stuff, has, again, as per the latter point, the ability to turn you into angels of light or angels of dark. I hope you choose the former. Are these theories, are these facts? You can let me know, gentlemen. Speak very soon.